Well, basically, this is first podcast for we haven't hindi pa talaga kami nakaisip ng name for it, but we for now we're calling it Beautiful Failures or Beautiful Setback or whatever comes. So parang we thought of like put up something, a podcast or an avenue where we can share stories of life. So parang that alone, the title alone has a story to tell. And then of course, we have our guest for today. This is the first episode with Borj Meneses.
Thank you for having me. Actually, hindi ko alam kung bakit. Sabi mo, yung first, your initial guest is ako. I hope may makuha tayo maganda rito sa interview na to, whatever it is.
Yeah, parang sabi ko kay Jet, I just want to guest Borj Meneses first because I believe that Borj has an influence, especially in the community of Kapampangan in Angeles. Diba? Borj has become like a house name.
So ganun na ako katanda.
Siguro. Kasi in the world of creative, especially in Pampanga, you're basically you are like a household
Well,
name.
kung failures lang naman ang pag-uusapan, siguro tatagal tayo. So mga half day tayo. I started photography way back. Wag na yung year camera model na lang.
Okay.
My first ever digital camera, it's a Canon 300D. Search nyo na lang ngayon kung kailan lumabas yun. I think that's 2004. Yun ang unang camera ko. Doon ako naging... Pero yung unang hawak ko ng camera, it's film pa doon sa... yung uncle ko kasi may siyang studio. But it's alam mo yung mga studio no, yung nagsushoot lang ng Rush ID. Yan. Ganun. Yun yung posture ko. Because, and that was in Tarlac. And I was sent sa Tarlac during my after high school because ano ba to?
But during the time wala pang as in no.
This is film days pa.
Film days pa. Yeah. No
High
background in photography whatsoever.
Nothing. All I know is lumabas, uminom, matupagbarkada, mapaaway, ganun lang. That's why I was sent to Tarlac. Kasi medyo napag-initan na dito. Kasi during those times, medyo it's what you call now a gang war. During those days, parang fraternity wars. Mga ganun may mga ganun dati lalo dito sa Angeles City. So tapos sabi ng lola ko, bakasyon ka kaya muna. Not because wanted ako. Parang iniiwas lang sa barkada. Ganun lang. So sabi ko, naman gagawin ko sa Tarlac? Tulungan mo uncle mo doon. Tutulungan ko doon sa studio? Bakit? Wala mo alam sa studio Parang ganun Pero wala akong choice So pinadala ako doon. Doon ako na-expose sa... Pero yung uncle ko, talagang matagal siyang photographer. Isa sa mga nauna or mga photographer nung 70s dito sa Angeles.
Curious lang ako, like how did you decide or maybe come to realize na I think yung the photography like who you are now, diba? Like a photographer na this is what I'm gonna do or this is what I like to do.
Actually wala naman plan
Walang plan.
Wala. Actually, lagi kong sinasabi before, lahat ng ito na ginagawa ko up to now, isang parang napakasarap na trip lang. Parang napakahabang trip. Trip mo lang gawin, ganun lang. Yung gusto ko, walang pressure. Gusto ko ginagawa to. Kasi pag ginagawa ko to, walang pressure. At the same time, it's work. Ayoko kasi nung work na, alam mo na, yung stress ka sa work. Parang, hindi ako yun
But Borj, you have your, do you still have your like day job, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So how do you
I do have a day job.
How do you? Kasi I always see your work. I always see you in Facebook. Of course, you're not really posting about your work, but you're mostly when you say Borj Meneses, you talk about photography, right? You talk about like this and this and that. So parang how do you manage? Because I believe that photography is your passion.
I guess.
I guess. And work is work.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
siguro hindi alam na nakakarami. Akala nila, I'm a full-time photographer. Like, a studio owner, tapos everything is in there.
Right.
No. Actually, the photography side, it's a weekend hobby. It's a weekend hobby, tapos naging studio. Napasubo. Na, I mean, siyempre, nag-i-invest ka ng gamit and all. Actually, di ba investment ang tawag dati doon eh. Ano lang, stock mo lang. Tapos naipon, na-sermonan ako ng misis ko. Sabi niya, oy, ano ba yan? Sabi niya, either quit mo yan or dapat kumita ka dyan. So, ganun yun. Pero yung paano akong pumasok talaga, I never planned to be a professional one, if you can call me one. Because I don't still consider myself na... First of all, I have a day job. Yeah. O, yun ang hindi nakakaalam. I do have a day job. I'm a creative officer for Clark Development Corporation, which is CDC. It's the government agency that manages the whole Clark. So doon ako, sa creatives ako doon. Ngayon, part of the job is like documenting, which is photography, videography, and graphic design. So that's part of the job. So I design posters, social media plates. Ngayon, social media plates na, before it's just for print, magazines, yon, gano'n. And part of that is nga, yun ang unang job ko. As a, maybe you can call a corporate slave. Nung pumasok ko na ako sa corporate world. Okay. Tapos, hindi pa ako nagpo-photography na. Tapos nung pumasok na ako doon sa creative side, kasi nag-start ako back in college, I was into arts. Talaga, I'm a member of hindi ko alam kung may nakakaalam pa nito, the Pampanga Arts Guild. As a local-based artist na in Pampanga. Sa grupo talaga siya, ng mga pintor, sculptor, gano'n. Feeling ko, pintor ako. Tapos na-realize ko, papangit pala ng painting ko. So,
But yeah,
pinigil ko yun.
I think I remember Borge was graphic illustrator.
Actually, nag-start ako gano'n.
Yeah.
Start
I
ako
think
graphic designing, tapos
The first work I've seen sa'yo was like, back then I was really like, uy, galing nito. Was really amazed was the clown. Yung parang, the painting.
Oo, yun,
like,
medyo, gano'n. Yung mga gawa ko dati.
Yeah.
And, so, yung day job nga, it requires me to lay out a magazine for Clark. Tapos may kasama kami photographer.
Okay.
Ngayon yung photographer namin doon, shout out kay Raul. Sir Raul, kung nasaan ka ba ngayon, love you. Anyway, medyo old school siya. Kasi coming from film. Actually, hindi naman talaga siya photographer eh. Na-train na lang siya to do the job.
Okay.
So, syempre, pag gano'n, medyo... ako, ang influence ko when I was graphic designing, like, yung mga magazines na medyo... let's say on the rock side, like pulp magazines, like yung mga alternative magazines before. So medyo yung look ko sa design iba eh.
Edgy.
Medyo gano'n.
Parang banda.
Yeah. Mga ganong klase. Tapos at that time, medyo pumapasok naman ngayon ng puputok ang magazine locally. Ang nag-start na magputok ng magazine noon, yung mga band magazine, which is pulp magazine, tapos mga car magazines. So, nakikita ko na yan. Pero even before that, bata pa ako, mahilig ako sa magazine. Hindi ko alam kung bakit, basta tinitignan ko lang yung photo. I can stare at a photo for a long time. Tinitignan ko, ni-imagine ko lang, let's say may scenery dun sa magazine. Ni-imagine ko, pwede akong pumasok dito. Okay, so back to my day job. Kung paano ako humawak ng camera ito. Okay, so yung magazine, so you need photos. Tapos like say when you lay out the magazine kasi, like you have the story and then you have the photo. Pag ma-match mo yan eh. So dapat the photo may match dun sa story. So naghahanap kami ng photo. Yung photographer na kasama namin, which is medyo may edad na nga. Bibigyan ako ng photo which is print pa nun Piprint tapos i-scan mo pa yun. Wala akong mapili. Sabi ko, Sir Raul, bigyan mo naman ako iba, yung kakaiba naman, wag puro firing squad. When you say firing squad, parang mga tao lang na A good example is parang, there was one story na may ginagawang bagong building. Sabi ko, gusto ko mong photo ng silhouette ng building na tapos may mga crane and all. kuhanan mo ko ng ganun, sabi ko. Sabi niya, mahirap gawin yun. Sabi niya. So ano ilalagay natin na photo dito? Sabi ko, so, wala talaga siya binibigay. Ayokong gawin. Sabi ko, walang appeal to pag dito lang ilalagay natin na tao na, nagpapala. O, na, sabi ko, gawa ka. Sabi niya, alam mo, kung ayaw mo yung mga shoot ko, di ka mang gumawa. Oo nga, no?
So that's the
Which is hindi, it's not, parang, I don't know, maybe he's being sarcastic, pero sabi ko, oo nga, no? Patingin ng camera. Gano'n lang. Film pa nun. Medyo. Sabi niya sa akin, may 4 shots pa yan. Bahala ka kung anong gusto mong gawin. Wala naman ng idea ngayon kung paano Basta alam ko, nagkiklik lang.
Right. And
the technical side, wala akong alam doon.
And the thing with film, unlike the digital nowadays, like, hanggat di mapuno yung SD card mo, pitik ka lang ng pitik.
Film days.
With film, you have to be highly disciplined.
At saka, they're divided into like 36, 24 shots, 12 shots,
Right.
mga ganun lang yata
Right.
So, yun. So, yung 4 shots na yun, logic na lang sa akin, Pumunta ako doon sa may site na may building. Tapos tinitignan ko siya kung paano ko siya tinitignan. So, free name ko na lang. Sakto naman dahil against the light. So, bakit lumitaw doon sa doon sa negative. Tapos nung print namin, talagang silhouette siya ng building. Sabi niya, marunong ka pala di ikaw na lang. Doon lang talaga nag-start. Sabi ko, siguro pwede naman. Pero syempre, hindi pwede yung bara-bara ka na lang. Wala naman YouTube, no? Wala naman So, at ayaw naman niya akong turuan. Isa pa yun, ayaw naman niya akong turuan. Basta sabi niya, kasi nung sinabi niyang, kaya mo pala magaling ka pala di ikaw na lang. Siyempre, pinanindigan ko na. Sabi ko, hindi ko naman sinabi sa kanyang, wala naman akong alam So, nag-enroll naman ako ng mga short courses ng mga photography workshop noon. Doon lang nag-start. Pero still, hindi ko pa rin naman sinabi na career yun. Kasi graphic designer nga ako Mas gusto ko lang yung Pero nung nakukuha ko na yung mga, sabi ko, gusto ko yung photo bago ko i-layout. Kasi minsan doon sa photo, minsan doon ko papasok yung layout. Kasi nga, may sa mga rock magazines, mga gano'n. Doon lang nag-start. Pero hindi pa rin naman yun ng parang calling ko na maging photographer. Eventually na lang, siguro 5 years on to the... tapos nga pumasok ang digital photography. Yon, doon na. Siguro, wala naman akong camera. My first camera was a gift from my mom. Sabi ko, Ma, pwede ba ako pabili ng camera? Kasi, yung uncle ko, dahil kapatid niya, sabi niya, Ma, baka naman yan ang career na gusto mong i-push. Doon lang pumasok sa isip ko, career. May career ba sa photography?
After all the years of being, of all those, later I'll be able siguro I'll share a story why I'm asking the question. After so many years of doing photography, do you still love what you do?
Definitely yes. Yes. Pero hindi yan everyday. Yung enthusiasm mo na to be holding a camera or shooting someone is para-pareho. Hindi, you need a break You need a break. Definitely nakaka-burnout lahat. Lahat naman ang gagawin mo. Makaka-burnout Minsan nga, there was a time na siguro for 5 months, hindi ako mahawak ng camera. Hindi ako nga papasok ng studio kasi may studio sa bahay. Oo, inamag nga mga ilaw ko Talagang wala minsan mawawala yan During the pandemic, during the pandemic, which is the best time na maging creative, baligtad ako. Wala akong ginawa nun. Nanood lang ako ng Netflix. Baligtad nga ako. Ang dami kong naririnig na during the pandemic, doon sila naging creative and all. Ako, wala during those times.
But I think that's one thing about creative people, no? Creative people are unpredictable in the sense.
Definitely. Normal yun, normal.
Yeah, kasi I think one creative to another, I shared it to Jet yesterday. We were talking Jet, right? Na parang may time na parang same as you, Borge, na parang ayokong hawakan yung may time or period for a year na hindi talaga pumasok din doon sa room ko. Kung saan yung mga gamit. Kaya like I said to you, nakatambak nga lang sa bahay yung mga gamit Pero at some point yesterday, I was telling Jet na parang You know what? The reason why I ask you if you still love what you do is because I think I'm in a stage of life right now where I am not sure of
We're going to push through
is
or what?
this is filmmaking is still the way for me. I think there's bittersweet thing between your passion and at the same time parang I feel like it's either I need to take a break
Or do
or I
something
need to,
else?
like what you've said earlier, like go away, and find other things to do, and later on see to it, balikan mo kung you still feel that you still have that fire, kung bumalik yung fire, then maybe it's for you. But kasi like for example, the reason why I was gonna go back to the why we are all here. I mean the podcast. So I just want to tell a story lang why it just came. So, for over a period of more than a year na rin, then it's just, the thing of creating a podcast is always in my head. But I'm not the type of guy who would like to be in front of the camera. It so happened like a year, over a period of 1 year, just keep on coming back. Just create something, do a podcast, whatever. So, most of the time, what I'm doing is like putting it in the shelf. Okay, Lord, I'll pray about it. I'll put it here muna, set aside. And then if it is still here next week, I'll pray about it. And then I'll pray about it. So, ganun yung nangyari siya. So, there's one time really that I'm asking the Lord, like, yeah, what do you want me to do? I mean, I need to. I think filmmaking is not becoming a purposeful thing for me anymore. I'm not really. I'm happy, yes, but at the end of the day, I'm not really satisfied. This is where Jet comes in. One day, after several months of that, of snubbing the idea of creating a podcast, this guy came out of nowhere. He sat there. Ako, hindi. Nandiyan lang ako. I was editing. Tapos umupo siya dyan. Narinig ko lang na parang may pinapanood siya, may ginagawa siya. Sabi ko sa isip ko, baka this guy is editor also. Ba't di ko siya kinakausap? And
So, hindi ka magkakilala?
Hindi ka magkakilala.
Oh, really?
This story came. And then my wife asked, and then he mentioned, naka-headset ako eh. And then he mentioned that he's a podcast producer.
Out of nowhere,
Talaga?
Bigla ko na feel na,
May
tanong ko
anghel
nga,
na naghulog sa kanya
ang,
rito.
parang ang ganda ng, sabi ko, sa wife niya, kayo po ba yung owner dito? Kami ng husband ko. Tapos tinuro niya. Kasi kaharapan lang niya eh. Tapos sabi ko, kasi ang ganda ng ano nyo, ng location, pang podcast. Sabi ko. Tapos dun na yun nag-spark yung conversation na gusto niyang gumawa ng, balak pala niya talagang gawing podcast studio or mag-start ng sarili niyang podcast.
Yeah.
So yun.
So that's a dime. I took that as a sign.
Matagal mo na sinabi ito, di ba?
Matagal na.
Matagal
Matagal na. It's because I always feel I want to, but because I'm shy, because I'm not ready, I don't want to be in front of the camera. Diyan lang muna yan. So that explains why lagi naka-cancel. So, the sponsor. Of course, my brother's coffee shop, Poblacion. the official coffee for this episode.
Now that you mention yung, sabi mo nga yung stages na ganun, bigla mawawala ka lang. Siguro, sa akin nakakatulong yung I do have a day job. Tapos ang nagiging break ko is shooting in the studio.
But for me, like for a deeper sense, I don't know if you guys will agree. I was telling my wife like I was at a verge of like selling all the equipment that I have. It's because
So dumating sa punto
dumating sa
ganun.
point na yun, I just really wanna like stop and constantly asking the Lord, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And then so i-relate ko lang, balik ko lang, switch back ko lang doon. So this guy came, and then I took it as a sign of, eto na, nasa harapan mo na, I don't need more, you just have to do it. I just want you to do it. So that's why we are here. I was telling Jet, I don't want Jet to think about it, the plan about it, to set it up, believe it or not, it's just now lang to ginawa, pero walang plano talaga. Now I just want to ask this question because I think the main purpose of the podcast is like to share what are the difficulties ikaw being a photographer, I don't know, maybe entirely in life that you've maybe experienced or currently experiencing right now, the failures and what it taught you. And how do you view failures?
Nag-start talaga, medyo nagkaroon ako ng, I think, career when I was shooting for a magazine before. It's not your everyday thing magazine. It's medyo, okay, let's mention it. It's a sexy magazine. Before,
Dream job of most.
so three. Exactly.
That's dream job.
Dream job yun during those times.
To shoot for a magazine back then is a dream. I mean, it's a big thing.
Yeah,
It's a big deal.
definitely. Kasi para makapag-shoot ka sa magazine, you have to submit all your credentials, lahat ng mga portfolios and all. Pero siguro sinuwerte lang. Minsan I just got an invitation from one of the photographers who's shooting for that magazine. And by the name of Jay Tablante. And then, nung nakita yun yung gawa ko, sige, okay yan. Ganyan yung kasama nyo. Marami nag-shoot for that magazine eh. And dream job talaga yun. It's a sexy
I
magazine.
remember. I think when you say Borj Meneses, it's
sexy.
It's sexy,
It's-
right? Yeah.
Kasi yun ang uso nun. Yun ang uso nun. Yun naswerte naman na gustuhan nila yung work ko. Tapos siguro I've been shooting for them for like 4 or 5 years, I think.
Tagal din, yeah.
Tagal. So yun ang doon din ako nagseryoso. So doon ako nag-invest ng mga ilaw and
But
all.
you're married ba at this
Yes,
point?
that's the doon napapasok yung failure. Kasi medyo bigla ako napatigil Hindi ko alam. Magulo. Let's say masyado ako nag-enjoy. Sino naman hindi? I mean,
Nag-enjoy.
the job.
Okay.
Yung enjoyment ko medyo napasobra nga lang.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Being, okay, ganito kaya, lagi nung tinatanong, when you shoot sexy, something sexy, when you shoot, lagi nung tinatanong, Borj, hindi ka ba naapektuhan when you shoot something like half-naked girls? Sabi ko, okay, sabi ko hindi. Pero the real thing, na wala ka plastika na, definitely naapektuhan ka. Pero dahil kailangan mo maging professional, so hindi na nahalata na naapektuhan ka. Ganun yun. Hindi ako iniwalang hindi ka maapektuhan. Like, oh, come on. I mean, diba, at that time, putok na putok lahat. Tapos, in reality, eto pa, here comes the failure. 3 times kami naghiwalay ni Mrs. Ang dami kong sabit doon.
3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. No? Pero siguro, pagmamahal na lang ng Panginoon na andito pa rin siya. Kami pa rin. Pero dumating sa puntong you have to decide You should stop or...
Like a family or
Yes.
your
May baby na ako na. Kasi ang kwento kasi when we shoot on location, minsan overnight, 2 days on location. Tapos hindi naman yun lahat shoot Ang mahirap doon yung after the shoot. Kasi after the shoot, you party and all. Nung sinabi niya sa akin, tigil mo na yan. As in, na pinapatigil is the photography itself. Hindi naman ako anghel. Lumamak siya sabi nga ako pinaka matinong, sumabit talaga. Which is before yun. And then, nung sinabi niya sa akin, tigil ka na. Doon mo iisipin na, like, ikaw, pag sinabi sa'yo, tigilan mo na yung filmmaking mo na yan. Gustong-gusto mo yon. Bigla, sabi ko, ano ba? Bakit? Bakit ko titigilan Photography to, gusto ko to. Ano mas gusto mo? Yan na yung pamilya mo. Yan na. Okay. Siyempre, maano ka rin. Doon ko na-realize mo nga pala. Teka lang, may anak pala ako. May asawa pala ako. May pamilya pala ako. Pagpapalit ko ba yon doon sa ginagawa ko ngayon? Nag-i-enjoy ako. Okay, nag-i-enjoy ako hanggang kailan yan. Bigla, na-realize ko na, siyempre, alam ka naman piliin ko yung magazine. I mean, that kind of career. There was a time na tinignan ko lahat ng gawa ko. Siguro, hindi ko alam. Maybe, divine intervention na rin. Naumay ako doon sa mga gawa ko. Like, parang, wait. Sabi ko, parang, ito lang ba kaya kong gawin? Like, shooting sexy and all. Sabi ko, parang, ang dami na nagsushoot ng sexy. Sabi ko, parang, teka lang. Parang, wait nga, gawa ka tayo na iba. So doon ako nag-start mag-shoot ngayon ng mga headshots naman. Yeah, beauty headshots. Kasi lalas dito sa Pampanga, dami magaganda. So sabi ko, why not?
So, was it difficult for you to choose? Was it difficult? Kasi, syempre, it has to, like, the failure of that, diba? Like, your wife now is, like, asking you to choose that or family. So, how difficult was it to give up your... Kasi, sabi mo, in general, she's asking you to give up general, like, the whole thing of photography. How hard was it, and how were you able to convince her back na, you know, to stay and at the same time pursue the photography?
I need to do something else. Sabi ko, ang photography ko hindi lang yung pag-shoot ng sexy. Definitely not. So sabi niya, then what? Just give me time and I'll prove it. So nag-start ako ng beauty shots and all. Nung una wala naman interesado sa beauty shots eh. Mga headshots and all. Pero pre-practice ko lahat ng magagandang babae sa Pampanga. Like mga beauty titles. So halos dumaan sa studio yan eh. So from there,
Pero you're still basically like shooting still girls.
Exactly, girls pa rin, di ba?
Yeah. So the studio ni Borge is located inside the compound of their house. So,
Bahay.
is
Sa
that the
bahay.
reason why the studio is in is that the reason why the studio is inside the compound?
Yeah. That's one.
24/7
Oh,
guarded.
Yun nga, tapos let me try something else, sabi ko. So doon pumasok yung food. Ngayon yung natutunan ko sa pag-iilaw, kasi I'm into lighting talaga eh. Yung pag-iilaw sa tao, i-apply ko ngayon sa food. Which is lucrative. Kasi we have lots of hotel dati, up to now, sa Clark. Doon pumasok yung commercial and advertising shoot. So sabi ko, and even yung mga counterpart ko sa Manila, mga naging barkada na rin. Medyo nawawala na rin. Kasi at that time, nawawala na rin the sexy eh. So, sabi ko, okay na rin. Kasi nawawala na rin yung ano na yun. So, anong gagawin ko? Gigibak ba ako? Hindi. May ibang bagay na pwedeng i-shoot na gawin eh. Doon na pumasok ngayon yung mga lifestyle shoot for hotels. Ito advertising side. Which is okay naman kasi may mga network naman. So, doon pumasok yun. Kaya nagkaroon pa ako ng photography talk na it's called From Sexy to Yummy.
Yeah, clever.
Kasi
yeah.
from shooting sexy to
yummy.
shooting food.
Yeah.
So, ang dami naging interesado dun sa photography talk na yun, which is yun. From there lang.
Right.
So, yung failure ko nung sinabing, what's the ultimate failure kung
right.
hindi yung...
Ang curious ko, Borge, is paano mo pre-process yun? You're asking me to give up the photography in general.
Syempre nung una.
How do you process that? Diba? Parang...
Pero hindi mo sa time tumigil talaga.
Of course, you have your investments already.
Yes, isa pa yun.
Dumating ba sa point that you plan to like sell it all? And
Oo naman. Just to win them back?
Yeah.
Oo naman.
So the thing here is the basically set naman yung mind mo like to win them back.
Oo naman.
Or was there any like struggle of like
may struggle pero syempre mas mabigat yun sa
family.
Pamilya yung
Correct.
mawawala eh. Like, ano ba naman yung camera kung mawala yung camera.
Right.
Di ba? So naging ano lang sa akin, kailangan kong i-prove na hindi lang ako nagsushoot ng sexy.
But I think in general we were talking about how failures is always meant to be a good thing. In a sense, failure is meant to equip you stronger to the next level, bring you to the next level, and make you a better person. Without failure, I don't think there's a good foundation.
For sure. Definitely.
In a picture, I was telling Jet yesterday. I think yung mga strongest building that's being made that na nagawa has a very very deep foundation.
They need it.
Talaga yan.
Kailangan yan.
It did not just as if like taas lang yan, but I think the work happened also in the foundation. Malalim na
And yung
hukay.
hindi mo nakita yon. Nakita mo na lang na taas na niyan pero hindi mo nakita ng tagal na pala hinuhukay yan.
Yun nga. Exactly. So, parang tanong ni Jet sa akin, gano'ng katagal naging Gano'ng katagal naging ganun? Sabi ko sa kanya,
Stay dun sa failure mo.
you know what? I don't think it's just for me. Just allow the rain. If it is rain, allow it to pour.
Let it.
After a while, pag tumigil na yung ulan, sa soil or sa ground, may tumutubo. It's a new beginning.
Ganito lang yan. That's a good example. Ganito lang, sa Clark. Pag summer, yung parade grounds nakikita nyo, brown yun. Brown yun. Pero let it rain one day. The next day, kita mo mag-sprout ka.
That's correct.
Green. Relative to sinasabi mo na failure. Nung sinasabi mo, titigil ako, which is I consider, parang failure na rin ng career ko nun eh. Parang, ano ba to? Wala pala ako pinuntahan. Hindi pala proud ng family ko sa ginawa kong ito. Sa akin, parang tontuwa ako. Pero then, you have to just move back a little. Habang, let's say, habang umuulan, medyo silong ka lang ng konti, or let's stay in the rain. Tapos feel mo lang ano nangyayari. Doon ko na-realize na, teka, wala namang mali doon sa photography scene eh. Ako yung mali. Kasi yung choices na ginagawa ko, hindi yung photography scene ang mali. Ako yung mali. So yung mga pinupuntahan ko o yung mga choices na ginawa ko dun sa photography career ko, yun ang mali. Hindi yung career itself. So doon ko na-realize, teka, ba't ko i-give up ang photography? I-give up ko kung ano pa yung ginagawa ko sa photography ko. Iibahin ko
Set it
yun.
right, yeah.
So doon ako doon ko na na-realize. And then from there, medyo nagtuloy-tuloy na. I'm still here now.
Right.
Paano?
Right.
Okay. So yun ang sometimes when you're during those times of troubles or failures, you just have to really assess yourself. Assess everything that you're lahat, pati yung surroundings mo, kung nasaan ka ngayon, kung anong ginagawa mo. Just stop muna. Teka lang. Tapos kung kaya mong umalis, be the third person, parang ganun. Ganun mo siya i-check eh. Hindi ka pwede mag-decide na dala mo pa rin yung sarili mo sa sitwasyon na yon. Kailangan mong lumabas. Tapos tignan mo yung sarili mo from the outside. Ano bang ginagawa nito? Ba't siya nagkakaganon ngayon? Hindi ko alam kung nagigets nyo, pero yun yung, usually ginagawa ko ganun eh. Sabi ko minsan, driving alone, kinakausap ko sarili ko eh. Parang ako sira ulo, pero minsan ang sarap eh. Sinasagot ko rin ng sarili ko. Parang, siguro sabi nila may tama, pero hindi. Alam mo naman yung mali eh. Actually, alam naman natin lahat kung mali na ginagawa natin. Kailangan mo rin aminin na nag-fail ka. Para alam mo kung ngayon gagawin mo ulit. Kasi kung hindi mo uulit-ulitin mo lang naman yung failure na yun.
Mag-i-improve.
Hindi, wala. Kasi
mo
never mo naman,
perfect
hindi
ka.
naman, tama naman ang ginagawa ko. Bakit? Like nung kung pinilit ko sa sarili ko, tama naman ang ginagawa ko. Wala naman sila naman ang lumalapit sa akin, which is definitely not true. Pag sinabi kong, kasi ang pogi-pogi ko, kaya sila lumalapit sa akin, mali ba yun? Come on.
I have one question. Just very curious for creative. How do you manage criticism?
Depende if the criticism is coming from someone I not man idolize. Yung opinion niya matters to me. If not,
Especially nowadays, Borge, like what I've said, because of the availability of information that's just widely spread in all medium. Like we have your TikTok, you have your Instagram, you have your Facebook. All the tutorials as being, being out, how to color grade, how to edit it this way, blah, blah, blah,
Okay.
and all that. And
That's a good question.
Kasi now the competition is really, 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 the competition is really like massive. Everybody becomes creative.
Definitely, tatamaan ka eh. Tatamaan ka pag lalo may ang dami kasi, ang dali kasing pumunan ng mali. Di ba? Ang dali eh. Mali naman yung framing niya. Mali naman yung kulay niyan. Skin tone niyan, mali. Pero kung tatanungin mo sila, ano ba maganda?
They don't know.
At another thing, meron bang perfect? Yan tanong eh. Like sa image, may perfecto bang imahe? Pag perfecto ba, okay na yan? Yun na ba yun? So, hindi mo rin di ba? So, ako, cliche at may sound, pero basta gusto kong gawin yun na yun eh. Kaya si Odang may nag-like ba dyan o wala? Basta, ewan ko, napapansin mo ako, basta post ko lang dyan. Hayaan mo na kung nag-viral ba yan o what, hindi na ako concerned doon eh. Which is, dapat naman nata, hindi eh. You're just sharing it. Like, if someone criticizes it, take it.
How do you manage competition?
Okay, competition,
Siyempre, being,
nandyan yan. Nandyan yan.
but-
Wala
yeah,
yan. Oo,
correct,
definitely,
diba?
nandyan yan. Hindi ano. Pero ganito, siguro, tumatanda na rin ako, aminin na natin. Pero dati naman tayo. Hindi, dati, syempre, ano ka eh, yung may yabang ka rin. Kaya mo na, hindi mawawala yun eh. Lalo pag yung masyado kang greedy sa likes when it comes to social media. Ako nung ginawa na social media, I don't think ang goal is to be the best one out there. Hindi mo kailangan ikaw yung pinakamagaling. Hindi mo kailangan yung ikaw yung pinakamaganda ang output, pinakamagaling. I think the goal is to be relevant after so many years. So yung career mo, nandiyan ka pa rin. Like, you may not have the best looking photos there or the best looking output. Pero like pre-pandemic, nandun ka. After pandemic, dito ka pa rin. May client ka pa rin. May iniwala pa rin sa'yo. Which is yun nata I think it's the goal. The longevity. To stay relevant after all those years na like ako, 20 years has passed. Yun nga, sabi ko nga, this is a running joke, pero totoo to. Nagrant ako minsan, sabi ko, wag mo ko yayabangan. Nanay mo, sinyut ko ng sexy. Diba? It's a joke. Pero, pero totoo.
Yeah.
Kasi yung mga model na sinyut ko before, mami na sila ngayon. Pero ako, photographer pa rin. Sila nawala na sa modeling world and all. Which is sabi ko, eventually, matatakot ka ba nung tanda ko na pala? Pero hindi eh.
I like what you said na the competition, how like say you don't need to compete or you don't need to be the best,
No.
but all you need to be is
Stay relevant.
stay there and be relevant and continue to. But how do you cope up with the technology that's fastly growing?
Definitely kailangan mo rin sumabay. Luckily, tine-check ko lang minsan yung mga nakikita ko nilalabas nila ngayon. Parang I don't know kung yung statement na to, pero usually nakikita ko naman parang, teka, ginawa na namin to before diba? Parang 8 years ago may shoot akong ganyan Parang ganun. So, ibig sabihin, nandun yung nag-i-evolve pala ako. Hindi ko na ginagawa ngayon yan kasi nga pala ginawa ko na yan before. Tapos ngayon lang pala pumutok. During the 8 years ago, hindi pinapansin yung ganyang klaseng gawa. Tapos ngayon ginagawa na nila, which is nakakatuwa din. So yun, kailangan mo talaga mag-evolve. Kailangan mong sumabay.
Right. So is it safe now that you say that you're not affected by the competition, whatever competition that is, no?
Competition
as
when
long
it
as you
comes
are
to-
staying relevant,
Kasi ang competition ng hirap kung anong level kayo nagko-compete eh.
right?
Even the client-wise, like
Yeah.
say, the clients. Ewan ko kasi lagi nila sinasabi. Ito lagi sinasabi, si Borge, mahal yan eh. Yun, lagi nila sinasabi yun, mahal naman ni Borge eh. Kaya namin gawin yan na lower price eh. Pero ang sa akin naman is, kung nare-realize na mahal ka, not because mahal ka lang. I mean, gusto ko lang mag-charge ng malaki. No. Kasi ito, yung experience through the years. Hindi yun ito, ngayon, kaya nilang gawin, o kasi nga, nakita nga nila sa'yo. Alam mo yun? Kasi nakita nila sa'yo, so kaya nilang gawin din. Di sana, ang competition is, ikaw ang gumagaya ngayon sa kanila. So, ganun yung trato ko doon. Definitely, kahit naman na anong gawin ko, magagawa din nila eh. Pero ang hindi nilang nila mawawala is, medyo nauna ako ng konti sa inyo. So, yung portfolio ko ngayon, mas angat ng konti sa inyo. Hindi ko sinasabi, mas magaling ako sa inyo. Definitely, ang dami magaling ngayon. Kung
Dami.
galing lang ang pag-uusapan,
Ang dami, yeah.
ang dami. At the end of the day, ito lang. Ang pinaka, on any career, kahit na anong career na pipiliin mo, kaya successful ka, kaya hindi. Ang pinaka-importante sa akin, ito, napaka-dramatic or what, ang pinaka-importante yung matutulog ka na wala kang iniisip na. yung you're at peace. Yun lang.
Right.
Mine.
Yun ang pinakamasarap. I
Money
think that's
can't-
the goal.
Money can't buy, no?
Oh, no,
Peace of
definitely
mind.
not.
Yeah.
At hindi yun, like, if you're on the top of your career, you're number one, hindi ka makakatulog. Hindi ka makakatulog. Hindi ka makakatulog yun. Iniisip mo yung...
on the watch. Who's coming next?
Oh, sino ba? Sino ba? Pag nawala na sa'yo yun, parang yung kahit na anong ilabas mo dyan, okay lang ako. Gusto ko yung ginawa ko eh.
Right.
Sarap.
I think that's success. Pag naging at ease ka na dun sa, hindi naman at ease na wala ka nang ginagawa. No, basta yung okay ka na lang. Kaya magustuhan nila, kaya hindi. Basta ginawa ko to, gusto ko to. Importante, pag natulog ako, wala ako. Okay ako, makakatulog ako. Pagising ko bukas, salamat sa Diyos. May buhay ako and all. I think yun ang pinakamasarap na goal eh. Not the be the one, number one and all. So I'm not downing yung dream nila na maging the best of them all. Be the best. Why not? Pero imagine the world, imagine your life na walang failure. Parang ano? Ano ka? Never ka nag-fail? Parang, how would you appreciate yung success kung never ka nag-fail?
And I think in general, failure makes you a better person.
And definitely, you will gear away to the Lord kung wala kang failures. Minsan nga nakaka-nervous yun, minsan yung okay ng lahat.
Yeah.
Teka lang, wait lang, parang
Parang masaya
tama,
lagi.
tama ba to? Like, baka may parating ba na matindi? Oo, di ba pag gano'n? Para, siguro the failure, pag defeated ka kagad, yun ang failure. Pag hindi mo nakita yung beyond that, yun ang failure.
What is your message for aspiring photographers na nanonood sa atin ngayon or nakikinig?
Definitely, cliche naman yan eh. Yung aral lang, know your path, tapos check kung sino yung mga nanggaling doon, and then establish the respect. Kasi, pag ganun, mas, it would keep you grounded eh. Huwag mong iisipin na, ang galing ko pagdating ko dito. No, hindi. Kung ano man ang ginagawa mo ngayon, may gumawa na yan before. So, siguro yun na medyo nawawala lang. Know yung kung sino yung mga nasa industry, kung sino yung wala na sa industry. Tapos yun, know your history lang ng pinupuntahan nyo. Definitely, yung the skills na, syempre, kailangan nyo na talagang i-develop yan. Another is, kung ano yung gusto mo, you have to know it muna. Like sa photography. Ang lawak ng photography. May portraiture, may advertising, may wedding, may ano. You can never be a master of everything eh. You have to fix yourself kung saan talaga ang gusto mo. In a while, pwede may marunong kang konti nito, meron kang nito. Pero, dapat, meron kang focus talaga kung ano yung talagang gusto mo. Like say your portraiture, be the best portraiture out there. Portrait photographer out there. You can never be the master of everything eh. Hindi. At least may mundo ka na tututukan. That's another thing siguro na pwede kong i-advise. And, yun nga, still, the goal is to be relevant after all those years. Sa career nyo, dapat maging relevant kayo hanggang sa huli. Hanggang sa ayaw nyo nang pumitik. Siguro, mga ganon. Ako, pangarap ko yung mga career nila like Edwin Tuyay, yung mga masters na like Wig Theismann, hanggang ngayon, sila pa rin. After kung ano-ano na nauso, pero doon pa rin sila. Siguro ganun ang goal. Again, not to be the best, but yun. Longevity and hindi ko na alam kung ano tatapusin, pero yun.
And lastly, what would you say to someone na feeling nila right now is failure sila sa ginagawa?
Accept the fact na magpa-fail ka talaga. Failure lang naman yan pag hindi ka umalis dyan. Kung tinanggap mo sa sarili mo na hanggang doon ka na lang. Okay. Pwedeng sigurong medyo sumadsad ka ngayon. Pero ang failure lang naman yan. Again, cliche. Kung hindi ka tumayo eh. Kung hindi ka nagpatuloy, yun ang failure. Pag sinabi mo sa sarili mo na, okay, nasaktan ako o nadapa ako dito, okay na ako, aalis na ako. So, choice mo yon. Pero if you really have the passion na tutuloy ka eh. Siguro slowly you go back. It doesn't matter kung gaano katagal ka bumalik. Pero kung gusto mo bumalik ka lang.
But it doesn't matter if like people are applauding or
Yes.
there are people watching.
Oo.
Doesn't matter, no?
Yun ang unang tanggalin mo, yung mga likes, yung mga social media likes and all. Hindi yun ang validation na magaling ka. Oo.
Bakit ang daming likes ito? Ako, 5 lang Tapos sira na yung araw mo.
Exactly. Ako lang, ilang beses ko na patunayan yan.
Affected ka na. Sabihin mo na, Borge, mental health.
Isa pa yan.
Affected the mental health
Isa pa
because
yan.
of this, yeah.
Kaya kasi ganito minsan ganito ang basis ng likes. Okay, ako nag-shoot ako ng model. Let's say, pag pinost ko, siguro pinakamarami 100 likes. Pero yung pag nag-post yung model, nasa 1,000, isang oras pa lang. The same photo. Kasi di ba, kung yun na magiging validation mo sa gawa mo, parang failure ka na kagad. Di ba?
Ako naman, sa failure naman, masakit yung failure. And as much as possible, we will do our best to avoid it. But it's inevitable. Hindi natin maiiwasan talaga si failure. But when it comes, like, siguro parang nakikita ko is take ownership nung kung ano ba yung mga pagkakamali din na ginawa mo para din ma-improve mo yung sarili mo. Improve those opportunities sa sarili mo, and for sure based from experience then it will bring you to maybe better path
It's always is a beautiful thing. Failure
or
is
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Beginning,
be-
yes, you be.
It will become a beautiful failure.
Made our first episode.
Thank you so
Hopefully,
much.
may natutunan sila. Kung ano man pinagsasabi ko, sana may sense. Not sure.
Yeah, so
Pwede naman sigurong cut-cut ito.
walang cutter. It's just gonna be like, I don't know. Tanungin natin yung ating mga film crew kung may natutunan.
Actually, baka naman mga 10 minutes lang yung makakukuha nila dito.
10 minutes lang. Yeah, but
May
of course, we
sense.
just want to thank you, Borge, for having
Thank
on
you,
board.
thank you actually.
This is
Salamat,
the first,
salamat.
for the patience, this is the first podcast of Beautiful Failures or Beautiful Setbacks, we don't know yet, but our goal is to like empower the community in the sense of like experiences through failures. And
Thank you.
It's a wrap.